Okay. Let me start with PowerPoint. Okay, let's go this way. Yep. Okay. Why should we say we need God, Mom? Okay, sorry. Okay, what's wrong with my PowerPoint? Okay, yes. No. Okay. Yes. Okay. So why God? As I said briefly, the question that high school student asked me is this all. Why God? Why do we need God in our life? Beforehand, let me start with this subheading. Three groups of people. The first group we say theistic. Have you ever heard about, or have you ever heard the word, similar word like this? Theistic. Yeah, theistic. When we say theistic, it means those who believe in God. Like you and me, we do believe in God. We do believe in the existence of God. We call that kind of person theistic. Anina agnostic. Those who say they are not sure. Of course, they don't believe in God, but they don't reject that there's no God. They don't say that there's no God. At the same time, they don't affirm there's God. They say they are not sure. That kind of person we say agnostic mom. And then atheistic. When we say atheistic, those who don't believe in God, they totally reject the existence of God. It's a kind of humanism, extreme humanism we call extreme humanism. Atheistic. However, here we have a Bible passage, Psalm 14 verse 1. Shall we read together the passage? The fool says in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt, their deeds are vile. There is no one who, okay, yeah, some words are missing here. I'm sorry. Okay, let me find it for you from internet. Okay, let me go this way. Oops. Yep. Just wait a minute, please. Okay. Here's the Bible version. Yep, sorry. Something is missing from the word. Okay. Yes. Okay, let's go for NIV. Let's go for NIV. Where is NIV? Where NI? Okay. NIV. Yep. Psalm 14 verse 1. Okay. Yep. Hey, Psalm 14 verse 1 more. The fool says in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt, the deeds are vile, there is no one who does good. who say there is no God, the fool says the Bible, it's what the Bible says about atheism mo pasien ông lu te tok ki sai lai san the fool see banghang ina amao all the reason why they reject the existence of God is just a very simple reason. They want to do everything as they like. They want to live the way they like. They don't like another boss above them. The answer is they want to direct their own self. They don't to live their own self. They don't to do whatever they like. ตัวจากอามาว่า the rule and regulation ของกิจสัมพันธ์อามาและอามาว่าเกี่ยวกับ no mother no father no boss above us ตัวหางเบกกับอามา God อะไรหรืออะไรตัวนั้นตัวนี้นะภาษาเราโลเตเอ็นแหลอุกนั่นไว้อาวุธโลเตมออุกนั่นไว้อาวุธโลเตเป็นในเสียวสมัยตัวจากอะไรสักบางที they are corrupt the deeds are vile there is no one who does goodภาษาโมนาตัวบางนั้นมีแต่นะอาหอยเซมเทโลจินะลายเสียงทุนองเกที่ต่อเป็นเลยตัวลายตะกะอามีนะเคนนี่จะแหละน้ำถุ่มอมมาเด atheism agnosticism ต่อเหตุตักจังนะ theistic มาโอเค yeah so now let's turn why do we need God why do we need God we need God the first reason is life and its existence life and its existence who say they don't need God who say they don't believe in God they totally miss life they totally miss the meaning of life they totally miss to live their life in a meaningful way life and its existence says something about God let's turn to the next slide for instance we can refer Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 mo isim khom dia le in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth I know in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth hi teng muna time and space imunya according to physics we always used to say time and space hi teng muna bang hun ki nai ta what's the time here in the beginning I know in the beginning so in the beginning at the beginning of time at the beginning stage of all time and periods who is there God is there and a space is the heavens and earth it's been space I don't know in the beginning it's been time again and heavens and earth it's a space againตัวนี้มุนะที่ time and space เป็นกุยปนกี่ปันThe Bible say who created it God created it therefore apart from someone who created life there is no beginning at the same time there is no place such as heavens and earth akipan mo abor pa omlo hile hun chi ngom nge lo dinga to ma bangina munahi van tung le tung chi bang om nge lo dinga some say science couldn't prove the existence of God we should know here science itself is not a perfect ending yet it's not a mature stage science itself is still growing science itself is not perfect ending in itself science in a pasien telo pasien prove telo ji bang science it's perfect nai lo scientific knowledge it's still growing it's chana bang chi na
kan lai
ama kan lai toy man kan lai pa nai manina according to the scientific discovery or scientific proof. Yes, there's a lot of things that we couldn't say exist or not. Science itself is still growing. Again, then science in matter life, the beginning stage of life. Nun tanay kipat mo. How life begins. They might have one theory after another, but they couldn't until now validate the source, the beginning stage, the starting point of life. They would say life is a combination of those chemical and those chemical. Life is a combination of those things and those things, that things, they might say. But they couldn't validate it. I mean, they couldn't validate their own theory yet because it's still growing. Their discovery, their attempts are still growing. Tôi rằng science in pen theory tấm pi ta cái hàng na to theory cái pen amao validate nai lo puro ki validate nai lo mat amao zong nai lo to bang azon lai apat na bul pi pen gen xiao zle the creator itzi pen ar di na pen short to the point I short to the point solution I everything should have a starting point. Everybody agrees that. Even scientists, they agree. Everything has its starting point. And some say life is a circle, circling around, rotation, circling around. Even if it is, what is the center point that's circling, that have the rotation? The center point can life. Okay. Life philosophy mo hite mo na chibat alim tong la fak ni mo. Okay, let's bring me up whiteboard. Starting point of life. Starting point of life is two different philosophy. Some say it's a straight line. Straight line means it has a beginning point and it must have the ending point more. Start and end. And some say life doesn't have starting point or ending point. It is just a circling around more. Without in which way would you say? If you say life as a straight line, it should have a starting point and ending point also. Or if you say life is just circling around, rotation, it should have a center point at least. Center rotation without center point, no rotation anymore. Straight line straight line in bằng unequal starting point unequal circling around circle circling bằng unequal center point unequal. A Christian terminology, Christian usage, according to Christian terminology, the starting point or the center point, we say God. The center point or the starting point, whatever you say, that is the creator, or you can say God. Science stand up. There's creation. There's no creation. There's no creator. There's no God. Without God, without the starting point or without the center point, nothing will revolve around. Nothing will grow. Everything's need a starting point or center point at least. To a center point be a starting point be in God to God ben personhood person okay. So in the beginning, he been starting point starting point in the beginning. God created the heaven and the earth. Beginning point, starting point being straight line ต่อมาบางอย่าง center point อมโลปีนะ revolving around ใจเทีย he tell he that without God or without the starting point or without God as the center point no beginning no heavens and no earth ที่ปากเลยที่ God เป็น the center point ที่ไอ้แกเลย the starting point ที่ไป he is the starting point of space and time and space Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 in องเกนตัวไว้ขัดวิสิมกี้ก็เลย in the beginning จีนี่แหละ in the beginning God created heaven and the earth okay let's turn to the next passage it's a long passage taken from Isaiah 45 5 to 12 Akimuteya Neuloya Kimutema Isim Komja Legway 5 but Isim Masaria verse 5 Sim Komja I am the Lord and there is no other apart from me there is no God I will strengthen you through you have not acknowledged me Aina I am the Lord there is no other Hiporemo Hitemuna Pasian Om Aina Ongena Toleto Pasian Ben Bang Tokibang Mate what is like God what is like Mo verse 6 simply nele so that from the rising of the sun Aina Isim Komdia to the place of its setting man may know there is none beside me. I'm the Lord, and there is no other. At you know, na ama pen a center point be na. I can the starting mark again. I don't know. Ama a blue be na. Let's go down to verse 7.
From the light,
the light, and create darkness. I bring prosperity and create disaster. I, the Lord, do all these things. Starting mark, starting mark, without starting mark, we cannot make a straight line. I hope you all agree. Without starting mark, we cannot make a straight line. A straight line should have a starting mark and the ending point also. Straight line. Or if you draw a circle that doesn't have starting mark or ending point, but it still has its center point. Aina starting mark le ending point au mloi circle nangon in bangde center point anik bebe ku le. Tun himuna pasien in ama pen starting mark aina again. Let's go down to the next passage. You heavens above rain down righteousness. Aina, let the clouds shower it down. Let the earth open wide. Let salvation spring up. Let righteousness grow with it. I, the Lord, have created it. Heaven above in rain down righteousness. Aina, clouds in shower it down. Aina. And the earth in spring up salvation. Again, life circle again. Heaven rain down and the earth brings food. And heaven rains down, the earth brings food. Circle again. Even in that life circle, who is the center point? God said, I am the Lord. I created that circle. At sinomna, ama bento circle P, to life circle P, a center point ay again. If it is a straight line, he is the starting mark. If it is a circling rotation, still he is the center point. Okay, verse 9 verse 9 who to him who quarrels with his maker. To him who is but a potsherd among the potsherds on the ground. Does the clay say to the potter, what are you making? Does your work say He has no hands. If you see a pot, a jar, a creation, you know there should be someone behind it. For example, when you see a beautiful canvas painting, you know there should be a skillful painter. Aina. Toma bangina label a jar, a pot imu tak jangina, there should be a potter o mai manai. But jangina, who choose to make a pot? The pot itself or the potter?
Potter.
The potter choose. So the potter would choose even the design. Toma tu ni na life itzi pe. Ama le ma ong piang hilo na a potter kat ong zina. Then it's even starting mark ong itzi na. Center point itzi na mo. To center point I wait to kizuya ama akipe ya. To starting mark ikipat na zuya na ong piang. To pen pasien akitzi ya. Let's go down to 10. Som na sim ne le. To his father, what have you got? Or to his mother, what have you brought to her? Inu kya ipa kya, what have you brought? What have you brought to birth? Iba chihangina, can we change our birth order? Can we change our birth order? No, no one can change. It's the way mom and dad gave birth. Hilale mo. Mom and dad don't give birth so akipiang hilale. We cannot change the birth order. Toma bangina tu ni na ming de life itzi pe. Starting point kan pan ai kele center point pan ong piang hi ba bangina. To life ina. To a center point pi kya na ai kele the origin amai original source kya na. We don't have right to raise question. Mate. Question idot ki take down to a center point be na ke source be. Let's go down to verse 11.
This is
what the Lord says, the Holy One of Israel and its maker concerning things to come. Do you question about my children? Give me orders about the work of my hands. The work of my hands. All the creation. So let's conclude with verse 12. It's the conclusion. Verse 12. It is I who made the earth and created mankind upon it. My own hands stretched out the heavens. I marshaled the starry hosts. Bible Isaiah 45 verse 5 to verse 12 isim tak jang ina no bang na pho au ma le impression bang na wa le kwai.
It's very new point of view, I think, because like the way he described that pot, I never thought of it that way, because we're here, so somebody must have created us.
Yeah,
very good, very good. Again, Mang, how do you think? How do you feel reading this passage?
Like Stephen said, I feel like it's a new point of view.
Wow, great. Okay. So here, reflecting from this passage, I have a short statement there. Okay. This is my short statement. God at the starting mark or the center point of everything or the original source of everything. He doesn't need us for his existence. Because he's the source of everything. He's the center point. He doesn't need us for his existence. However, as for us, we need God for our existence. Without the starting mark, we cannot make a straight line. Without a center point, circle cannot be circle. Circle cannot rotate on its own. It needs a center point. In that sense, the center point doesn't need the circle, the rotation itself. But for the rotation, it needs the center point. The starting mark doesn't need a straight line in its nature. However, To make a straight line, we need the starting point. The straight line needs the starting point. In the same way, God is the starting mark or the center point. He doesn't need us, the creation, for his existence as God. However, just a straight line, just a circling, rotating circle, we need God, center point, for our rotation, for our circling, for our existence. Okay, it's a God
does not need us for
doesn't need us for his existence,
Distance.
but
We
but
we
we
need God
God
for our
for
existence
our
as human being. Jadi cima bangina lai igit pepe akipat na oma atok na omi. Starting mark lo to kigit pei te lo pi. Tomo bangina starting mark omlo sakel hi ichi piel as aman center point ane kuri. Center point omlo pia sakel kits te lo. Tun a center point in a sakel akisam bilo zo a. Sakel kan om nang in a center point kisam. Tomo bangina straight line ka om na dingina beginning mark starting mark kisam. Tunina pasien ben. To a starting mark ben pasien akitsia. A center point ben pasien akitsia. Pasien lo to sakel akitsi life cycle existent om tail. Toma bangina pasien ahi starting mark lo to life existent. To straight line ahi life existent om tail. Pasien be ading ina starting mark hiton to hizi. Tuni ading tom kim jinga mate. Ini chapi di ichapte di statement sini na mai chiang ina aban jemkat tu sana a details on a zone to len jina jemkat om zone nuamin. Yes, of course. Why do we need God? It might be an very awkward question for Christian. However, for secular mind, it's a very tricky question. It's a very it's a big issue. Pasien aum sate adi na. Pasien kisam mochi dot na pen. Dot dinga kisam la ya.
no.
No, we don't know, of course. I had secular mind, it's pasien all mo lo kanadi ma pe. Why do we need God si pe? Dot na important question iti ke. Australia ka pag in high school sana pang te khatong jot hi na. Ngai sun khang elo na pi na. To ong dot tak te pe. Oh, kaya di na tu pilo ai na. As for pastor, I don't need that question because since from my childhood, I know I need God. But the pasien ki samji theka cha kaya di na. It's not an important. It's not matter. It's not an important thing. It's not a big issue for me. But secular mind, like him, to high school student, they are anak kisam nahi. Tunin adi akisam rohang. Pasien au no irom igual te kisam kama amari ngai manina chem katwa. Irom igual te share minute dina. He calls me the chem katita of fact him jina ong introduce him to matupang peta hen.
Amen.
Kali boy tunin i-share hi pom kim jing. Then siang ina Sunday worship service Meeting lakpanina kadina short to the point ina 5 words, 5 sentences. Sharing ani tadim volunteer yom dia. Who volunteer?
And Valentine.
Okay, very good. Siapima.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Okay, tang sima. But then ina method. You don't need a lengthy words. Just simple. Feel free. And also bang sidinga what is atung anang notes at living mo to na notes mo sim living mo it's okay that feel free mo bam sila ni kan ni the no pe mi mo mo ji hiro mo public figure din na hi mo public figure din na hi mi ma to gen sia sia ma to gen ka chi tak te preacher din ka chi mai ton lo company director khong hi din ma governor khong so hi mai thei din ma lawyer pp din to tak te public speaking pe na nei phom ma te public figure din na hiแต่เจ้านี่นะเบี้ยกินสูงปะนะภาษาทุกแห่งนะต่อ public speaking กิสินปะเลยดีเนี่ยมั้งยันต่อเป็นกองทัพยางจีนี่แหละตัวมันถูกความเป็นตาเห็นถ้าเรียกว่าตัวนี้อีกอย่างต่อกิสายนะเทมพัดreflection ให้ส่วน feedback ให้ส่วนเนี่ย discussion มั้ง question ของอมเลยส่วนจีนี่ก็แบบจะที่เป็นอาจจะเรียกกัน high school student แต่อาจจะ college student แต่อาจจะนะ question ทุกที่มาขนาดมันนี่นะหลักมันนี่นะที่ต่อกิสกี่กลุ่มนะว่ามันจะเนี่ยแหละคุณเขาดี
like what cái thị nói là Genesis biết cái nào ngồi nào patient nghe lấy tung bò cái chỉ là ngồi là ada verse dalam kisah.
Ai về. Especially in the book of Psalms, more Psalms so not in land more God's creation to tăng pitang again like very good, very good observation more. Hồi cửa mấy. Đang liên quan question answer không có cái cụm đó discussion in này nó là rồi thêm bắt hun lan như
ตอนแรกฮิวมีหิงแต่เป็นไซโคเป็นเปอร์เซ็นต์แกงปั้นไปจะเหลืองนะตอนแรกเปอร์เซ็นต์ไซโคอันนี้นะจะบัง
psycho จะลุงซิมมา
ตัวไซโค
ให้เราอย่างนั้นอามาเป็นน่าแค่อาซาเกลสักปะฮิโซไอเบมาอามา center point นี่เว้แต่ all the circling force แต่อามาเกี่ยนปันมุไปยังไง so we can say life is a straight line or circling we can say whatever if it is a straight line he is the starting mark and the ending mark ไอเบมาตัวจังอะไรฉันบางที I am the alpha and omega alpha จีจังfirst letter ไอเบมา omega จีจัง the last letter but if it is a straight line he is the alpha and omega the start and the end and if it is a circle he is the center point the force the source of the force that makes circling rotation มาอาจารย์น้องอย่างนี้มัน circle เบลในเราอามาเป็นตัว circle สัก force ปีเป็นในเรื่องแต่ he doesn't need ตัวบางตัว life cycle อามากี่สับอามาเป็น life cycle อาเปลี่ยนสัก force นี่แต่จะได้ที่มาบาง God doesn't need life cycle God doesn't need us however life cycle needs God ไอเดียต่อมาเป็น life เป็น cycle ที่เราเห็น life เป็น growth มอด straight line นั่น a growth นั่นตัวเลนส์ God doesn't need life growing but life growing of life needs God อะไรเดี๋ยวมันมา starting เลย ending ไอ้เจ้าละมั้งตัว God is alpha and omega อาจจะ Bible passage เอาหน่าไอ้เทีย alpha and omega อาจจะนะ revelation มั้งอาจจะแต่น้อยมีอะไร revelation สิ่งนั้นเองแล้วจริง revelation จะเป็น the end of the book the Bible มั้ง the ending part chapter 22 มั้งchapter 22 verse 13 มั้ง Genesis จะเขียวค่ะ Genesis เราบังไอ้ตา revelation มั้งrevelation in there revelation 22 13 God is speaking here to the prophet to the apostle John and God said I'm the alpha and the omega or alpha จิจะthe first letter ใช่ไหม omega จิจะ the last letter the first and the last if life is a straight line growing growth he is the first and the last อาจารย์ต่อมาบาง if life is a circle God is the center point the force that makes the rotation ไม่ได้ทุกปีเป็นไม่ไหวตัวอะไรเงี้ยเลยมังนี่เลยถึงกันเกณฑ์ไปเลย
Mama Neka
okay น้องมังนี่เลยไหวตัวเลยเดินเชียงนี่นะทางนั่งเทมคัดไม่แต่ตัว sharing มั้งองค์ในซอยนี่เนาะตัวเลย who will volunteer for closing prayer ตัวไม่นะเว้ย next Sunday จะนะลีลากว่ากิจดีokay I'm sorry to say again I have to be absent next Sunday but in lesson เป็นmore can during the week video file กันนะบอดี้นี่more 15 minutes more around 15 minute video file แล้วนะบอดี้ต่อเป็นกันตัวเป่าหุ่ยมั้ง
Champi.
Cái này vậy.
相比一零吗 ？OK，相比一零，我相比讲啊，跟ตัวลิงค้างที่นะตัวเป็นนั่นน่ะหกนั่นน่ะ play แล้วสิเนาะ
OK.
OK，in ตัววิดีโอลิงค้างนี่ตัวเป็นนั่นน่ะ play อยู่นะตัวเกี่ยวกับแต่ discussion ของมันในเรื่องอะไร discussion question เช่นกันกันspecial guideline บอกขนาดมนุษย์นี่เนาะ
OK.
OK，ตัวเล็กไว้ตัวนี้กวน volunteering closing praying
I pray.
OK thank you
Tôi theo tôi mà khi ra cái tôi tiền sinh sản thế à. Cái tema da manhã logo não toca de papo meu pá. O tema da malam tem gente me de hongena. O tema magam. Ngam ta tin kem de tan tin ta permission to ne to pasina.
Amen Amen thank youลุงได้ไม่ไว้ตัวปัจจุบันเปียเห็นนู่นแหละเดินแต่กินหมูนี่อ่ะเปียกินอ่ะGod bless